Bonjour, je m'appelle Hilah. Welcome to Hilah Cooking. I don't really speak French. Today I'm going to show you how to make Parmesan cheese puffs, or Gougères in French, which are a little French pastry, and they have cheese, and I'm going to add some cayenne pepper and make little bite-sized, perfect little morsels of delight for your holiday parties. Alright, we just need a few ingredients. Water, all-purpose flour, some butter. I'm using some Parmesan. You could use Romano or ricotta salata, anything that's really kind of a dry cheese that you can shred up really finely. Some cayenne pepper and some eggs. And this is one time when size really does matter. Just kidding, it always matters. You want to make sure that you get large eggs, not jumbo eggs or small eggs or whatever. They just say large, and they're all pretty much about the same size. So large eggs, and let's hop to it over here. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is put the water and the butter in the saucepan, and we're going to heat it up until the butter is melted. And I'm going to add the cayenne pepper too. That was butter. Gross, Hilah. Okay, so there we go. Great, in the pot. So this is kind of an interesting dough. It's unusual in that it is cooked, kind of cooked on the stovetop before it's cooked in the oven. It's twice cooked. So, and this is the same dough. If you left the cheese out, you would end up with like a cream puff dough that you can make an eclair out of, or a profiterole. Pardon my terrible French pronunciation. I'm not even sure that Gougères is correct. But basically it means cheesy cream puff thing. So that's what we're going to make. Alright, so the butter is melted. And this part is really pretty fun. I'm going to add the flour all at once. Don't splash boiling water on yourself. And just start stirring it like a madman. And I'll turn the heat off. And you just want to stir it, and then you can see it's starting to ball up and come clean from the sides. And that's exactly what we want to happen. Okay, cool. So I've got like this ball of dough here. It's very smooth. And now I'm just going to let it cool for 2 minutes, and then we'll add the eggs. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Okay, 2 minutes. All right. Now I'm going to put the eggs in. So the reason we let it sit there is just to let it cool off a little bit so that the eggs don't like just start cooking immediately as soon as you put them in. So here we go. We are going to drop the egg in and start mixing. So you could use a hand mixer, but I wanted to show that you can also do this by hand, just in case you don't have an electric mixer. And right about now, you're probably looking at it and going like, oh my God, this is never going to work. It's never ever going to come together into a ball that looks like dough, and I just ruined it. But don't worry about that. Just keep mixing. See? Totally came together. Back into a dough. Egg number 2. Mix, mix, mix. This is also kind of a neat thing because this dough doesn't use any kind of chemical leavening, like there's no baking soda or anything in it. So it uses what's called mechanical leavening, which is just from like the eggs poofing up, like when you make popovers, same kind of thing. So that's kind of neat. Different. It's probably one of the oldest kinds of like rising stuff before they had baking soda, baking powder, and before anyone knew anything about yeast, or knew enough to be able to replicate it on command. All right, then I'm going to add most of my cheese. I'm going to save a little bit out, like maybe just a couple tablespoons, so I can sprinkle on top of each one, just for cutesies. Okay, now we are ready to shape. And I've got here a baking sheet with parchment paper on it. If you don't have parchment paper, you could use a silicone mat, but that actually costs a whole lot more than parchment paper, so I just use parchment paper. It'll make your life easier. All right, I'm going to use 2 spoons to shape my little balls. If you want to use a piping bag, you can do that with just a round tip, but whatever, 2 spoons is fine. So you want to make pretty small balls, like, haha, I said small balls. Maybe about the size of like a shooter marble or a small tomato, like a cherry tomato, and I don't know, an inch or so apart. And you should get about 30 little tiny balls. Tiny balls. You're the cutest little little tiny balls. Okay. All right, and then we just do a pinch of cheese on the top of each one. And if you wanted to do a little sprinkle of paprika or some more cayenne pepper or something, that would be cute too. Okay, now these are going to go in a 425-degree oven for 10 minutes, and then we're going to reduce the heat to 375 for another 20 to 25. All right, look how golden brown and delicious. Okay, let's try one. So they're all like light and puffy on the inside. Crunchy on the outside. You could make tiny ham sandwiches out of these if you wanted to, or you could feed them to your dog because they are a wholesome treat for humans and dogs. Daisy, come here. Daisy, come here. Daisy, sit. Sit. Good girl. Good Daisy. Hey Daisy, watch me. Good Daisy. Oh, she's a sweet girl. Okay, well, okay, so there you go. That's how to make pâté à choux and Gougères and all that fancy French stuff for your all tomorrow's parties. To quote that weird song. All right, bye. Have a great holidays, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, Daisy, I want you to try to catch it, okay? Catch it in your mouth. Ready?